What's going on, guys? It's Moldy Fate here, and if you hear background noises, it's my dog, but this is What If Tanjiro's in My Hero Academia Part 10. I hope you guys enjoy. Tanjiro stares Daki down as Daki stares back with a bird mark on her cheek, or the face cheek, face cheek. And basically, this will begin Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu versus Daki. There's no real reason to get in specifics, but basically they're brawling, and Daki's doing really good against all three of them. And basically, Inosuke is trying to think of ways to get into Daki's defense, because the way she moves like an octopus, it's almost like she always has defense. Meanwhile, Tengen is sneaking through the city, and he hears a voice. "These are the quirk bullets you wanted, right? Look, I shouldn't be seen with you guys, but as long as Overhaul doesn't mind it, I don't give a damn." Tengen sneaks in, and he sees a green-haired man with pale skin. Gitaro, Tengen thinks to himself. The only person that has that type of hair in that type of way. He then sees two other people, Dabi and Nezuko. As Nezuko and Dabi are both holding giant crates of what is assumed to be quirk-canceling bullets. Tengen thinks, when Dabi and Nezuko are out of eyesight, Tengen would go in for a sneak attack against Gitaro, but he sees it coming and Gitaro blocks it. Dabi and Nezuko notice this and try running away, but Tengen tries to run after them, since his real mission is to get the quirk bullets, not to fight Gitaro, Jesus. But eventually Gitaro actually gets right in front of him, and now it's Tengen versus Gitaro. It looks around the same like in the anime for Demon Slayer, but imagine they're in a warehouse and he doesn't have to use explosions, he uses like Zenitsu's quirk, Mr. Inosuke's quirk, you know what I'm saying. Basically they're fighting, and they're so fast compared to each other, they're around the same speed, but they are so fast it's like a blur. And Dabi tells Nezuko, "Yeah, I'm not really trying to get into all that, let's just run away." Nezuko and Dabi try to run, but as Shinobu was trying to head because her side of the city was done, she was going to help Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu, she actually runs into Dabi and Nezuko. And Dabi and Nezuko can only see one way. They can go back and get in the mess of Tengen versus Gitaro, or fight Shinobu. But since Shinobu looks frail and weak, they decide to fight her anyway. In this case, Dabi and Nezuko versus Shinobu commences. Tengen and Gitaro's fight begin to speed up and intensify so much to the point where they actually burst through the wall. In this case, they actually can see Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu versus Daki's fight, and pretty much like out of eyesight. And Gitaro notices that Daki's kind of in the ropes, even though she's doing well to defend herself. Eventually, something bad might happen, so he tries to go help Daki. In this case, he tries hitting Inosuke, but he happens to get out the way fast enough. And now Gitaro fights Tengen and some of the other members of Team Uzui. And at this point, the fight just merges in, as Gitaro's more of attacking and Daki is kind of like a sniper, if you can say so. And all the members of Team Uzui are there, so at this point, it does not, it just merges into one big fight. Meanwhile, Dabi and Nezuko keep trying to run away from Shinobu, and eventually they do, but on accident they run into Gitaro fighting Team Uzui. At this point, it just becomes Gitaro, Daki, Dabi, and Nezuko versus Team Uzui and Shinobu. Gitaro still tries targeting Tengen since he realizes that he's kind of the biggest threat. Tengen's the fastest, and not only that, he can actually use other people's quirks, and probably even better ways than the original person, so he targets him more, and that fight is happening on the ground. Meanwhile, Daki fights Inosuke and Tanjiro as Zenitsu actually splits up to go fight Nezuko. Zenitsu tells Tanjiro that he's not going to harm Nezuko that bad, and all he's going to do is subdue her and or knock her out. Tanjiro gives the okay, and Dabi actually fights Shinobu. Zenitsu and Nezuko are fighting in a room in a different building, and basically because Zenitsu is not outdoors and Nezuko's whole thing is exploding blood, this is a little bit hard for him since he's literally holding back so he doesn't hurt her. Eventually Zenitsu is able to knock Zenitsu out of a window, but luckily she's able to catch herself, and now they're on the ground. Zenitsu will use a move that he has invented where he jumps into the air and then yells Thunderbolt. When he does this, his hand is charged by the nearby electricity, like lights and stuff, and then he punches Nezuko around the forehead and does shoot a bolt of electricity through her, but only enough to knock her out, not to kill her, as he holds it back a bit, even though it was kind of hard to. He knocks her out and he tells Tanjiro over communications that he's gonna go over there and help Inosuke and him versus Daki. That Nezuko is knocked out, but she's fine and she'll live. Eventually, the trio work together, and what Inosuke's plan is since Zenitsu and Tanjiro's quirks have a burning effect on the ribbons, all Inosuke has to do is just trust them. He's gonna bore rush through, and all they have to do is just keep the ribbons away from him, and he has a way to basically hurt Daki. They all believe that this will work, and Tanjiro uses his Hinokami and basically burns away the ribbons, as Zenitsu would use Thunderclap and Flash eightfold, as he's just burning away the ribbons, because electrifying them doesn't make any sense, it still burns. And basically, they do this for a bit until Inosuke is close enough to Daki to headbutt her and knock her out. When this happens, Gyutaro sees it and he cuts off Tengen's left hand. When he does this, he also poisons him, and now Tengen's writhing in pain as he jumps towards Inosuke and stabs the left side of his chest. Gyutaro would hold Inosuke high up, and he'd pretty much say, "For someone who's so weak, you just happen to be quite a bit strong, quite a bit competent. But compared to me, you're nothing. You ugly trash," as he throw away Inosuke. When this happens, Tanjiro sees Inosuke in the big gaping hole in his chest as he was thrown into a nearby room in a building. And basically, Tanjiro will look around and he noticed that basically Tengen's left hand is cut off and he's on the floor writhing in pain. Shinobu's too focused fighting Dabi in order to help, and Zenitsu would actually push Tanjiro as Gyutaro would yell, "Blood/scatter shot." When this happens, the entire area of which they were fighting in gets chopped up like fucking onions. Goddamn, sorry. It's just, you know that scene in Demon Slayer where the ground started glowing and everything with the shit? Yeah, that's the exact same, but it's a bit different. But Zenitsu only pushed Tanjiro enough for him not to get cut. The explosion still hurt him, and basically he's shot to a nearby area on the floor, and he's fading in and out of consciousness. When this happens, Dabi picks up Nezuko and tries to run away, as Tanjiro would stick his hand out saying Nezuko, and then he blacks out. When he does wake up, he's surrounded by flames and burning buildings, explosions a bit because gas tanks and shit like that, and he's trying to find where everybody is, but he just simply can't. I'm so sorry, that is my dogs if you hear that. You just can't. I'm sorry, that's my dogs. I don't want to just yell at them. Basically, he's looking around, but he can't. And then Gyutaro actually walks up to Tanjiro and asks, how is he still alive? Tanjiro is just, panicking. He's trying to catch his breath. He's been using his quirk nonstop for the past 30 minutes. Yes, it's only been 30 minutes. As Tanjiro looks up to Gyutaro would comment how he knows about his Nezuko and Tanjiro situation and how they're siblings. And Gyutaro states that he actually respects the fact that Tanjiro's trying to help her out. He's trying to put her back into the good side, but he's still failing. And Gyutaro would just stick his hand out as he states, if you join the villain side, if you join our side, you can help Nezuko. Not in the way you intentionally thought, but now you can help her out with the villain plans they were conjuring up a bit. As Gyutaro would smile and just say, she is too far gone to help out the normal way. I think it's time you either do drastic measures by hurting her, or you can join her. As Gyutaro would state that he even has a free spot that he can join on his part of a League of Villains on his own. Tanjiro looks at Gitaro's hand, he grits his teeth and headbutts Gitaru. Now remember, he's not a demon, so this actually still hurts. Gitaro's trying to find his footing, but Tanjiro just starts wailing on Gitaru using the Hinokami Kaga like Ember, but he's just going non-stop over and over again. Every single time Gitaru tried hitting him, it would just be revealed that Tanjiro was using like that rainbow haze shit, flash per second, and it's revealed that Tanjiro is actually a step behind, and then he continues on while flashing him, and this will just go on forever. Eventually, Gitaru does try stabbing Tanjiro, but he just slips to the side, and Gitaru wonders why he did it, as then he sees a blinding light as Zenitsu's revealed to use Godspeed on Gitaru. Gitaru's now just fucking going everywhere. He's just zooming through the entire city, as it's revealed that Zenitsu's pretty much punching Gitaru and burning him, electrocuting him, all at the same time as Zenitsu would just yell, Godspeed! As he's zooming, he's making zigzags everywhere, and then Tanjiro realizes that there must be a plan to this. Gitaru would break from Godspeed as Zenitsu would chuckle, but his Godspeed would run out. When Gitaru finally breaks from Godspeed, he actually gets hit in the back, then in the front, then in the side multiple times, and he can't see it, as he then sees Tengen when it was slowed down. Tengen would shout, "Thank you, Zenitsu, now I can use your flashy quirk along with my musical score." Then Tengen and Gitaru would commence in battle, but this is just not fair. Tengen is way faster and he can use Godspeed a lot longer. Eventually Daki goes to help Gitaru, but it's revealed that Zenitsu pretty much just jumps in front of him. He can't use Godspeed at the moment, but he can still use his normal quirk. He starts zapping the thing, but Daki does get the upper hand because Zenitsu is severely slowed down. When it's then revealed that Inosuke would jump forward and punch Daki in the face, as Inosuke would explain, his heart's on the right side, not the left. And that's where we're gonna end part 10. This was probably one of my favorite parts to write, but I know the next part might be my favorite part. But yeah, I just got hyped writing this shit, because I understand it's just season 2 Demon Slayer, but there's a lot of drawbacks, because this isn't breathing styles. These are quirks, like actual fucking quirks. The electrocution's still there. He's burning people. This was my favorite part. Obviously, I sound hyper as fuck, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this part, because I fucking did, and I'll see you guys next time.